Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Patrick Shurney. It's good to be with you. I was thinking with all the free food out there and the alcohol, like somehow some was going to sabotage this and land us into an insurance seminar tonight. And I won't be speaking about life insurance because we can't sell from the stage, and I'm not a licensed insurance agent. So I thought, if there's 500 some people in a room who I don't know very well, what's a topic that would be lighthearted, easy, and not make people nervous? So I'll be speaking about religion and politics tonight, and maybe some of you would wish I was speaking about life insurance, but you might be thinking, oh no, is this guy like a Trumper or a Bible thumper? Like, what are we in for? And I just want you to relax, because that's not what's going to happen. But in a few moments, I'm going to put up a slide, and it's going to have some images on it of some people who are in religion and politics, and you might get a little triggered, and you might want to use your First Amendment rights and cheer or jeer or call out, but I don't think that'd be a good idea, because when I'm done, you'll kind of wish you didn't and say, why didn't someone tell me not to say anything? So that's your warning. So as you contemplate these folks, we'll take a few minutes of silence and just realize what you feel about it when you see their images, and just kind of go through each one, and we'll just take a few minutes or a few seconds for silence. Okay, you feeling it? So I'm sure some of you felt a little triggered or some emotions by some of those people that you saw up there. And I want to transition to when I started working, I don't recall any policy that said, hey, you can talk about anything you want around here except for religion and politics, but that's kind of the way it was, right? I mean, you could be at the water cooler, someone could be talking about what they did on the weekend, someone could be trashing their boss, they could be gossiping about other coworkers, and that seemed to be okay. Or maybe you've had like the old Thanksgiving dinner where Uncle Mike gets up and, he does the turkey leg toss, and, I got Aunt Rita over there holding her hands because of these high stakes conversations around religion and politics. So here's my point. It's not that we should be teaching people not to talk about religion and politics, but how to talk about it. So we're not talking about the subject, we're talking how to talk about the subject. And, too many relationships have been ruined. And I will just use a marriage example. Imagine in a marriage, you decided a high stakes thing was money or finance. And you said, we're not talking about money and we're not talking about finance. What do you think is going to be the biggest problem in that marriage? What do you think is going to be the biggest communication issue and source of conflict? The thing that's taboo. So when we declare things like religion and politics taboo, it's just because we haven't really been able to have these high stakes conversations. And this picture right here that you see is like typical. People go off, they're going to talk about it. And when they come together, it makes it very different. So I've got a few things that are helpful. I thought what would be helpful, and this is kind of in my life, things that I've done. I have two do's, a do, and a don't. So a do, and a don't. And if nothing else, the very first one's a don't. So just remember this one. And I know it sounds easy, but don't denigrate. It's just so easy, especially when you see a social media post or someone says something, and you see maybe a yard sign, and denigrating others. You don't want to be denigrated, so can't we offer that to others as well? And it just creates a war of words that is just a vicious cycle. And the war of words will divide families, communities, businesses, and it turns into a war of weapons which divide nations. So don't denigrate. But you know what? Do hold on to your convictions. You don't need to water down what you feel or believe. And those convictions, I'm assuming, were formed by deep thought, experiences, things that have happened in your life. And the last thing is do respect. So you have to give a shout out to Aretha Franklin here. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, and we had politicians back in the 80s, I think, that kind of got along okay. It's harder to find newer references than that. Sorry about that. But you have to just remember that debate. It was hilarious. So, really it's about walking in someone else's shoes. And I like the word empathy here. Empathy is defined as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. And it demands that we treat people with dignity and respect. And I think social media has done just such a number on people and has really, seen us just have greater divide as opposed to unity. And when it comes to unity, I think what's great about our country is this concept. Unity of purpose, but diversity of opinion. That's what makes a great marriage. That's what makes a great company. It makes a great community, and it makes a great nation to be able to have that unity. So as we sum up, how can you talk about religion and politics? Just don't denigrate. Hold your convictions, but not every conviction that you have, or you shouldn't say, I should say this, your convictions are not a hammer and everybody's opinion isn't a nail. So hold your convictions and keep them. Treat people with dignity and respect. And lastly, we've got an election coming up and we got Thanksgiving. So you got plenty of time to practice. And I wish you well. Thank you very much.